welcome back to CrossFit Town with the podcast. This is our second episode. Hope you enjoyed the first one with Rooney itself. You got me, Mark Oscroft, and also you got
me, Tom Brooks. So just a quick catch up with some news. We've just finished the CrossFit Open. That finished on Friday. Buzzing 3 weeks. Everyone did really, really well. We've got some awards to hand out, loads of PBs, loads of stupid costumes. And what's going to happen is on the 9th of April, just a quick reminder, we've got our black tie event where we can all get dressed up, have plenty to drink, plenty of food, and hand out some awards. And
yeah, that's going to be a really good event, that is. I mean, we've got a band, and we've got old Tom here on his old saxophone.
Are you going to sing?
He's going to get the horn out.
You're going to come, so you can come and sing.
Oh, I cannot. That would not be a good time.
we have got karaoke on the end of it, haven't we?
Oh, I'm sure we could.
Yeah. Obviously, we've got to get drunk first.
And then looking at the end of April, just a quick reminder, we've got our same-sex threes team competition coming on here.
Which is triple trouble.
Yeah,
we've only got 2 male places left, guys. So if you were interested, we've only got 2 male places, and we've got 4 female places left. So if you want to take part, look at the link in our bio itself, and please sign up. It's going to be a really good day. We've got some good sponsorships coming. So we've got Project D, Donuts itself. We have got
Defiant. And they're donating some swag for prizes as well. So winning teams will get some swag as well, which would be quite cool.
Yeah, and we've also got Twisted Kitchen, wood-fired pizza. Craig's coming down, bringing his van down.
Oh yeah, fresh pizzas.
Stone baked pizzas. That was here before.
Yeah. Made to order as well, which would be cool. Anyway, enough of all the admin. The female voice that you can hear is Miss Chloe Brennan. Strong lady who's just come back from America, competing at the Arnolds, as I'm sure most of you have seen online, because it's been a mental weekend. So she's going to be with us. We're going to be throwing some of your questions at her, and we're going to find out a bit of the ins and outs of what went on. So welcome, Chloe.
Thank you for having me.
How's it going?
It's good. I've recovered now and I'm awake, so that's nice.
You got over the jet lag. No.
Yeah. It wasn't too bad, but definitely feeling more human now.
Awesome. So, I mean, there's so much to ask about the Arnolds. So, really, rather than just throw a question at you, just talk us through, like, what was it like going over there? What happened? Because we only saw the bits that you fed on Instagram. We don't see all the kind of like behind the scenes and all the stuff. So, you lead us. What was it like when you arrived and when you started competing?
Cool. So, getting there was a bit of a disaster. Firstly, so my partner Matt came with me this time, which was actually really nice. He came with me to my first Arnold, but when I went to Worlds last year, he wasn't able to come, so it was really nice to have him with me for one. But when we got to the airport, his ESTA wasn't valid, so my stress levels just went through the roof. We did get it sorted with literally like 5 minutes to spare, so once we arrived there, we got an Airbnb, so that was nice just to have our own space to kind of chill out. When I've gone out to comps before, I've shared with other competitors, which I absolutely love, and it's great being around people, but it was nice to just be with Matt to be able to fully focus on my performance and not really, because I automatically want to help everybody and care about everybody else more than myself. So it was nice to actually be able to fully focus on me and be quite selfish in that way. So that was where we were staying. We were very lucky. We actually, well, not lucky in the first instance, like at the Arnold is at the Greater Columbus Convention Centre. So we went there the first day we arrived and actually snuck in to look at the halls and the setup. No one stopped us, so we just carried on. And then the next day, we were with the Stoltmans, who my friend Dan coaches. So Romark, who's Martin's Lissis's videographer, was like, guys, do you want to come in? So we got in through him that day, so it was legit. We didn't break in, and we got to see like the second day of it being set up, so we got to go see the Strongman Arena and all the stands, so that was cool just to get a feel before the actual
What did it feel like knowing that you're seeing this thing appear and you're like, oh, that's going to be me? Like,
it's just exciting. I love it. And Dale, who I was competing with as well, the other British guy, we're both quite similar in how we prep for comps. We don't like to think about it too much. We just like to chill, relax, have a laugh, mess about. So being with him kind of calmed the nerves, and we were just having a laugh really, and a bit of a joke, having a look at it. Like, it was bigger than last time, so there was more stands, more floor space, so that was wicked. And yeah, then it was just about making weight.
How did that go?
Really easy. It was
That
really
makes sense.
easy. Like, I know every week I'd been saying to you, like,
Yeah.
I'm not sure I'm going to do it, but then the few weeks before, like, it just dropped off. I didn't hold any weight on the flight, and I was at comp weight like 2 days early.
Oh, that's
so
good then.
it was just
Yeah.
about maintaining it. I did a small water load just to make sure we didn't hold anything on the plane. So yeah, it was dead easy. Now I even got to have a few snacks on the morning before I weighed in, which I haven't been able to do for years.
Well, that's made a massive difference, though, didn't it? Because
Yeah.
obviously, when you went to Worlds, then you had a massive walk up there, didn't you?
Yeah, to sweat in a bath.
Yeah, yeah.
So it was very different, but it makes you feel better for the comp. Like, I knew going into Worlds, because I'd been in the bath, like, I'd been depleted the day before. I didn't feel depleted at all going into this comp, which definitely made a big difference. Although, because I made weight so easy, I was like, oh god, like, have I made the right decision going up a class? But I definitely have. I was just very fortunate. I think it was because I wasn't stressed this time going into it. I think that was a massive.
Well, we've been spoilt because we've been watching you prepare for it, and like the amount of work that we've seen you put in, like day by day, and like it's been quite like grounding really to see you like having to go, oh god, I'm on deficit, and like having to go through all those things that we always kind of like moan about, and you're like, you know, doing it to the nth degree, which is awesome, really cool. Right, event 1. What was event 1?
Event 1 was the deadlift.
Yeah.
Yeah, it went really well actually. It was one of the events I knew I would do well in, but it wasn't my best event. Deadlift used to be a really good one for me, but statically, like, the other girls have just got ridiculous, which has made me feel like mine isn't good. But I've still got good deadlift, like, and I need to remember that. But it was 156 kilo barbell into 156 kilo axle, and then 180 kilo axle and slightly raised, so it's like 12 or 13 inch or something for reps. So I had planned, so you know, in the warm up we'd been messing around, like when I've been training with the switch grip and everything like that. So when I got there, they actually said it's not split timed, so it only goes on the reps at the end.
Ah, very good.
So it didn't really matter how long it took me. I ended up strapping on for the second rep. Which I fumbled a bit, but I don't think it made any difference overall. Yeah. And then I got 6 reps at 180, which is like, I've not hit that much in training, so I was really happy with that actually.
Mate, I can hear like people listening to this and going, oh yeah, deadlifts, they're okay. I've just max reps at 180. Going, what?
Yeah, I had to really fight for that last rep, but it's mad how much a couple of inches like difference can make. Because I've done 180 from 15 inch for like near 20 reps. But that couple, like that, having it that bit lower down makes such a massive difference.
Yeah. That's what we're doing on our deadlift program at the moment, just going down in different inches itself. Started off, and as soon as it gets past those knees itself, and you see a massive difference.
I'm curious to do 180 from the floor for reps now though, and see what I could get.
But mentally that's mad, isn't it? Because like you take a big weight and you think, oh okay, and then you rep it out from high, you think, oh that's all right. But then as it gets lower, you know you can do it, but then I find that plays in my head. I'm just like, oh my god, why is this feeling harder? Because I know I can do it.
But like, for context, that got me joint third in that event.
Nice.
So there was 3 other girls that got 6 reps. I think second place got 7 and first place got 8 reps. So that gives you an idea
really
of the
close
standard as well. Like, I know a lot of people who are like, wow, that's so much weight. But for me, like, it is, but I'm always looking ahead, and like the other people I see lifting way more. So it was definitely a fun one, and I was really happy with joint third on that.
Yeah, damn right.
100%.
So what was event 2 then? That was...
Oh god, it was the sandbag into the wheelbarrow, which I'd been smashing in training. But it wasn't a wheelbarrow, let me tell you. It was...
Was it one of those sledge with the 20 plates on the front?
I don't know what it was, right? So it was a big frame, and then it had like plywood on the top of it. But then there was like a big pole going through the plywood, so there wasn't actually a decent surface to put the bag onto. Like, if you plate loaded it would be fine, but so loads of people had the issue of the sandbag rolling off. The pickup was quite low, and it wasn't grippy at all. So in the warm-up I'd had a play about, I was like, this is really different. So I had a play about with hook grip, and trying that, and in the warm-up it worked better. So I was like, right, this is what I'm going to do. Went into the event, picked up the sandbag, no issues, was flying, and then I just couldn't pick it up. Like, could not pick this wheelbarrow up. Like, it's not like I moved it a little bit, like it was just stuck. And then I was like, ah! So stopped messing around with my thumbs, picked it up and got a decent run in. But I did drop quite a lot of points there, so I came 7th on that event. And really, like, I'm known for my moving events. Everyone's like, this event is yours. I'm like the best in the world on those events.
Do you think that might have put too much pressure on yourself, knowing that, what other people were saying? And that might have played with your mind, do you reckon?
Yeah, the same happened with the medley at Worlds. I knew I should have won it, and then I messed up. But it's one of those things, and we were all in the same boat, that we hadn't really tried the equipment, and it was just I wasn't good enough, and that's why I dropped the points.
And we've, like, from here, we've seen you with like the old B&Q wheelbarrow, loading that up, and like handles popping off and stuff. So like, different equipment. But do you think going in now and knowing what it's like, if you did it again, you'd have a completely different result? What do you think? Yeah,
I wouldn't have fiddled about with the hook grip. I'd be more familiar with, like, practice makes perfect, and it's so true. Like, if you're doing a competition, you can get to the equipment, like, definitely do it, because you can't, like, I couldn't prepare for that really, and it showed in my performance. So it's just the way it was.
Okay.
But and like, just to add in terms of like people on about competing, a lot of people always say to me like, oh, if I do bad on an event, then it carries over. And like, I sulked for a good hour. Like, I was like, should have done better. Do
you know what you should have done? You should have took our teddy.
No. Don't give me that bloody teddy.
For those of you who don't know, we've got a little teddy bear in the gym for when people throw their dummies out the pram.
Yeah, just give them the teddy.
And then when you guys were going to give it me, but decided against it as I stormed out. No, but so I had a sulk, and then kind of spoke with the team around me, and it was like, what is sulking gonna do? Get over it and focus on the work ahead. So that's definitely what we did. And
then you went on to what, event 3 now? Where we are?
Yes, which was the bag throw.
Yes.
So that'd been really hit and miss in training.
Cool, because you've been experimenting, and again, the joy of us watching, like you do it. You've been experimenting with how close to go, so you to save some time and try and get the height on it. So yeah, go on. What came of that? Because
Yeah, so it was. I'm glad that I tried all of that out, because it meant when I went to warm up on the day, I didn't have to do that many throws, and there were so many girls like doing so many throws to show themselves that they could get it over. And obviously, throwing is like, it's a pure power event, so it uses the creatine phosphate system, which tires really fast and takes a little while to replenish.
Yeah, definitely.
So it meant that I literally did so there's 4 bags. I went up to the 3rd bag in singles. I knew I didn't need to throw the 4th. Like, I can do it. I don't need to waste my energy on it. And then I did a couple of playabouts with distance. So can I just pick it up and throw it from here? Turned out I could. So that's what I did.
Awesome.
The last bag, oh my god, so I threw it and it landed on the top, and if it lands on the top, it counts as long as it's stable, but it started to fall, and I was like, but it stopped like just before it came off, so that was brilliant actually. I came 2nd on that event,
that's great.
So that went well and kind of got me back in the run-ins for the finals, because only top 4 make the finals at the Arnold compared to 10 at Worlds, so like you have to
push yourself on.
Yeah, you have to be consistent. If you drop too many points, there's no chance you're making it, so that was a bit of a relief.
So going to final then, knowing that you'd had that wheelbarrow kind of setback, feeling good going to final, or just seeing how it goes, or? So
before the finals, we had another event. So I had the axle clean and press event, which was a ladder, and then reps at 79 at the end, which I'd been repping out in training. Like, I've been doing the reflex clean and jerks, and it felt so good. And I was like with my partner Matt before the event, and I was like, it feels so strange going into an event that's going to decide whether I make the finals or not, and feeling really good about it. But I did mess it up.
Good. So
yeah, so I was aiming for like 3 or 4 reps on the last bar, and I only got 1. Watching back though, it was so annoying, because I was split jerking it, and it was there, like it was locked, and I just dropped it, and I don't know why. So from that event, I had the Dinnie lift, which was they were starting at the same time. So
Yeah, because I can remember you saying that you might not be able to do the dinners because of the.
So I had to run from that event to the Dinnie thing, and I was sure that I'd completely messed up my chance of getting to final. Like I was saying to Matt, keep looking at the spreadsheet. Tell me if I've made it, great. If I haven't, please tell me because I'm about to go balls out on this record if I haven't. So to know that I did make finals, I was like, that is jammy. Like I didn't feel like I deserved it, but that's the game and I played it. So
So Dinnie's then obviously the thing that's blown up everywhere and like inspirational, like people around the world commenting on how amazing it is. Talk us through it because we've seen all the videos. We've seen the no reps and the struggles getting there. So go on, talk us through what happened and the build up to it. And
so like build up. So if we go back to when I'm at home, I see people practicing for this record, and I'm like, oh, I've done this lift. Like, why haven't I been contacted? Like, I'm at the Arnold, but like opportunities don't come to you. You have to go and get them. So I was walking around next in Ventura, and like emailing everyone I could think of, like, please, can you let me join them with this record? I didn't think I'd get it, but just to compete with the people that were doing it was like. So I did it with Donna Moore and Rebecca Roberts. Donna Moore's 3 times world's strongest woman, like greatest strongwoman of all time. Rebecca Roberts is the current world's strongest woman. So just to compete with them was like a really cool opportunity. So that was confirmed the day before I went out. Then, like you just said, there was a load of faff with the timings and whether I was going to be able to do it. I didn't really get time to think, so I was on the main stage doing my Axel event, ran over to the Dinnie event where they'd already drawn numbers for the order. They'd kindly said I could go last as I'd just competed, so that was nice. But yeah, they'd already started warming up, so it was literally whack me leggings off, whack my kilt on, in the warm-up area, everyone's there, get my boots on. I think I did like 2 warm-up lifts, and they were kind of explaining the rules to us, and basically we'd all planned to do a strapped lift, and then if that went well, do without. But they basically said if you fail the lift with straps, then you can't try again without. But if you fail without, then you can try again with. So, and obviously, like all the staff there are already looking at me like, what are you doing here? So they explained this rule to me, and I literally just chucked my straps. And they were like, "Oh, really?" I was like, "Yeah, really." So then we went out. Donna did her attempts, didn't get it. Becca did her attempts, didn't get it. I'm like, oh, right, this could be really cool if I do this. But they're getting their straps on, ready. Then apparently, as I'm standing there waiting to go, the road guys are already saying like, so we're gonna get through this attempt and then you'll have X amount of minutes and we'll go again with the straps. And one of the guys we were with said, you don't need to do that because she's just about to lift it. And they're like, and yeah, I did. So it was like on the second attempt I fell back and the handle disappeared in my bum cheek, which really hurt. Like I was genuinely in pain going into that third attempt, but it was like
adrenaline and
what have I got to lose? And I nearly gave up on the second attempt, but I turned round and my partner Matt was like, chalk your thumbs. So I was like, oh. So I chalked my thumbs, got back on. Like the crowd was electric. It was the most full the arena had been because the men's pro had just been on before, so they just had the frame carry, and because the Dinnie event was immediately after, everyone was still there. So yeah, it was crazy. And when they went up, you'll see on the video, I'm like, because I didn't think they'd left the floor.
Yeah, you can see you go up, you drop, and you look around for approval, and then they go, yeah, and you're like, oh.
Yeah,
they just got wild.
It was really special, and like that, I can't even explain that buzz to you, and I feel very fortunate to have experienced that because like not many people will ever get that in their lifetime. And then it was like I wanted to go see the physio because I was in pain, and Matt was like, just walk round this way, and so he made me walk through all the stands, which was weird, like a couple of people asking for photos and stuff, which was cool. And then along the bleachers at the back people started standing up and clapping. So I'm turning around like, oh, something started in the arena, and Matt was like, Chloe, that's for you. And like, I just started crying. Oh, there's a video of me on the floor like, ah! So yeah, it was crazy. It was just nuts. An experience I'll not forget. But then it was, I had to get to sleep because I had 2 more events to go the next day.
Yeah. Was that hard to do, knowing that you've like adrenaline going, you've just like smashed it, everyone's loving it, like having to calm yourself back down again? Was that?
Yeah, it was really tough. So that in itself was crazy, and then because we had squat the following day, we'd had to stay behind for another athletes meeting where they were doing our squat height, and for whatever reason it just took like a really long time. So I didn't get back till late anyway. Then my adrenaline was like pumping.
I can imagine.
I knew I needed to eat, but like I didn't want anything, and because when you've cut and then you refeed, like you have to eat so much food. Like the amount of food I ate through those first few days, like I can't even explain to you. I was so full, and you get like what's called palate fatigue, where you just don't want anything because you've eaten that much of like the food that's going to fuel you. Just don't want any more of it. And I knew I needed it, so I was like, what's got loads of calories in? So I was like, chocolate milk. I had chocolate milk and a few crisps that night, which isn't ideal. And then obviously I was competing at 10 in the morning the next day. That's when it was kick-off, so I had to be there for like 8:30, 9 to warm up. I'm looking at the clock, I'm like, oh God, it's like 11 o'clock. I really need to sleep. I knew I had this glute injury as well. I think I said it off camera, didn't I? So I can repeat it. So it really hurt, and I went to see the physio. The one guy was like, your nerves going mad. The other guy was like, I think you might have torn some of the ligament off the bone. Like you really need to be careful. I had to get people to help me squat because I couldn't squat with like the frame weight that was on there. And Matt was like, you're wasting someone else's spot if you don't say something. Like you either do it or you pull out now. And I was like, And then I spoke to my coach Jenny in the morning, and she said I did a very good job of hiding it, but I was nearly crying on the phone. I spoke to Sat, like I'm in a lot of pain, do I just take painkillers? So it was more of a mental thing going into that day, to be honest. Like I knew like squat and stones are really good events for me, which was what made it so annoying because I knew I wouldn't be performing at my best. But I took some painkillers and we cracked on with it. But the squat was weird because I'm very posterior dominant, and I had to find a way to squat that wasn't gonna irritate that even more. So if you watch the video, like someone said to me, I was like, your squats were so nice, I think they were the best out of everybody. So I was like, oh, like
you should see them on a good day.
Yeah, because I was trying to like use my quads more. I look so awkward because I'm still low bar, but trying to lean forward. So I'm like at every rep. But once I was in the swing of it, the painkillers kicked in, the adrenaline took over.
Yeah, when that adrenaline takes over, you don't even feel the pain, do you? It's just you just push yourself.
Felt it after.
Yeah, when you come back down, definitely.
But yeah, I won the squat event, which was exactly what I needed. So I was going into event 5 in 4th, and I finished event 5 in 1st overall. So
that's incredible. That's great.
20 reps at 129 was
with a broken arse. Brilliant.
Yeah, but that's part of it. I hate when people use injuries as an excuse, because part of being a good strong man or strong woman athlete is coming into contest without an injury. That's part of it. So yeah.
And then stones.
Oh, stones. It was a battle. So it was like there's 4 of us. Stones increase in weight, and it's like one goes, next goes, and you have 30 seconds. So if you get your attempting quick, obviously it gives the others less rest. So I don't actually know the weights because it was all in pounds, and I was just like, I'd rather not know. Just let me
just pick that thing up and put it on there.
Yeah. But it was good, and I am good friends with Holly McRae, who won. And we said before we flew out, so when we found out that event, we were like, so it's going to be me and you battling at the end for 1st and 2nd. Like that was that was our plan. That's what we were going to do, and that's exactly what we did, which was really, really cool. And she did a phenomenal stone load on the last one. I could hardly get it off the floor, and she did a beautiful lift. So, like, I lost to the better person, and she was better throughout. So she really deserved it, but I gave her a big hug after, and she got loads of tacky in my hair.
Oh no!
Which was
your hair looks a bit shorter today.
Oh, these women spent about an hour in the toilets with my head in the sink getting it out for me. So
the glamour side of strong woman.
Yeah, it was a real buzz. It was really, really cool and a wicked experience.
Sounds like a roller coaster, like, because obviously it's easy to watch it from our point of view. We just see the posts and see the videos and see that, but to know that you're injured, to know that, you know, things go wrong, is to cope with that is just crazy.
I was saying to Matt, I was like, because obviously he did quite well at Worlds, I've done well at this one comp, and I was like, imagine if I did well on every event. Like, imagine if I performed to my potential at every event. I might be able to win it one day, but that's something I need to work on, on not messing up in events. So, but to come away with second with a bit of a dodgy performance on some events, I can't complain.
Definitely.
Okay, so what's next then? You've segued right into where we go now. I mean, I know you've literally just come back, and now all you want to do is sleep and eat.
Yeah.
But where are we going? What's the plan?
So that was my last appearance as a lightweight strongwoman. So I wanted to make kind of a boom as I exited, which I did. So I feel content now. I am actually going to go up into the next weight class, which is the under 73 kilo class. And I'm not sure on what's next. My big goal for this year, I've already qualified for Worlds at that weight class, so my big goal this year is to make finals there, and do well and make my mark. Like, I want, because a lot of people said, oh, with going up, do you not think you're like, how will you cope with not being at the top? And I was like, well, I don't plan to not be at the top. I plan to keep pushing. So
it's a process, though, isn't it?
It
is. And you got to think that, yeah, it might not be at the top, but then you got to think about the plan, what you got in action itself. Because obviously we know strength takes a lot longer than what cardio does itself.
But then with my moving events, like, I'm already in the top, so like, why can't I compete with the best? You know what I mean? So, and with a bit of added mass, like, I know statically I'm a bit behind, but in 2 to 3 years, I think I'll be a better 73 athlete than I ever was. At 64, I've just got to.
And you've been saying that online, haven't you? When people have been asking you questions, you know, about the weight categories, you're saying you feel stronger when you're up in that end. So. And
I've learned it's such a mental game as well. Like, if I say to myself, I'm not going to be the best, then I won't. Whereas if I say to myself, I can do it, like, you have to say it in all. Even if you don't believe it, sometimes you have to say it, because then you become it. If you're always like, oh no, I can't do it, then you won't do it. So you have to have a bit of a, oh, I will do it. And then also on the Dinnie Stones, I want to do a timed hold and get another record in that, maybe.
Oh God, what for you is a good?
So I've got the Rogue record, which is brilliant, but there is a Finnish woman called Annika who did the ones in Scotland and held them for 10 seconds. So I want to do that.
11.
Yeah, it's like, that is no mean feat. Like, I have to train hard for it, but
I mean, 10 seconds is ridiculous.
Yeah,
that's a long time.
She's insane.
That's a long time.
She's insane. I don't think it'll happen anytime soon, but it's something to work towards. And like, doing it in Scotland just makes it cooler, because that's where the whole thing originates from.
Yeah, awesome.
So the only things we were going to ask is really just for the people at home, really, to find out what, you know. We've had a lot of people saying, I'm now going to start training, and people posting photos of them doing like Dinnie training and stuff. So like briefly, 2 things. One, like, how did you kind of get started in this? And I mean, like, really, really briefly, because I know you get asked this all the time. And the second one, like, probably more importantly, is advice for people wanting to get into it. I think that's probably where we're going.
Yeah, so I got into it by accident. My partner Matt had been like, you should train weights. And I was like, no, I don't want to get big. I don't want to get bulky. I have bad knees. Like, literally, you couldn't get more stereotypical cliche start out if you tried. But I did start, and was introduced to strongwoman and never looked back, really. Like, in a nutshell, that's what happened. And my advice is to, like I've just said, like, never say you can't do something. Always look at the positives and what you can do, even if that's something really small, like, I don't know, if you want to be able to do a pull up, just being able to do a dead hang, like that's something you can do. So go and do it. Like break things down. Like recognise your accomplishments, even if you haven't achieved your big goal. Like take time to reflect on what is going well. If you have a bad session, afterwards try and find 3 good things to take out of it. Yeah. So just positive outlook really, and as soon as it gets hard, don't quit. Keep going.
Yeah, awesome. And any thoughts about future? You doing any kind of like seminars or training with people, or?
Yeah. So I do.
Maybe a sneaky one here. You know, get some people in. And
yeah. By all means, I do online coaching. I do face-to-face coaching. I do seminars all around the country as well. Yeah. So like I love doing that. That's like my passion. So come along when you see one up. If there's one here, that would be brilliant.
Yeah, guys. So we'll
have a chat about
we'll have a chat and
look for future dates on what could be coming.
Exciting.
Awesome. So I did mention earlier before we started recording that we've got some questions from people. Some of these are like quite deep and quite like interesting to find. Some of them are absolutely ridiculous. So we'll start with the first one, which I think you kind of already answered really. Someone said, what's with the walking boots when you're doing your Dinnie Stones?
Yeah.
Everyone normally is like, chuck your lifters on or barefoot or whatever. So the walking boots.
So the first time I went to do the Dinnie Stone, so I've been training in Converse and that worked really well. I could get a really wide stance. But the stones are like big and I'm not. So when I wear flat shoes, I really struggle to get clearance, which is the issue I had. If anyone's seen my videos or photos from the original Dinnie Stones, they were coming off the floor, but I couldn't get the clearance because I wasn't tall enough. So I wear the walking boots because it gives me another couple of inches so I can actually get the clearance. But they also make that ankle really stable as well, which is helpful.
Yeah. So, how do you stay focused in competitions? This is from Amy.
In competition or in the run up to, or both?
Yeah, I'll say a bit of both really on there because obviously you have two different mentalities on that one.
I think I'm just inherently really competitive and very goal orientated and driven, which really helps. Like if I say I'm going to do something, I'm going to do it. So that really helps just in the way that I am. But I think it's knowing what the end result is. So I can imagine myself on the podium at the Arnold. I know that that's going to feel really good. So in the lead up to it, when it feels rubbish, I'm going to keep working because I know how good it's going to feel at the end.
Yeah.
And then in competition, I buzz off it. I love it. I enjoy it. Like I know some people and they hate competing. Like I'm there and they're like, when is this over? I hate it. And I'm like I love it so much. I'm like an excited puppy. So it's quite easy for me to stay in the zone and keep with it. But just looking at the bigger outcome, really, I think.
So that leads on to another question, really. The question is, what keeps you motivated when you're not having a good... It's phrased as not having a good mental health day. But I suppose you could always put that as not achieving the things that you said, I'm going to do this today, and then not getting them. So, like, what keeps you...
You've seen me, I stamp my feet and cry.
But then how do you come back from that then? Because it's so easy to go, and just call it a day. So.
Yeah, and it's something that I've got better at with practice and experience. When I first started out, if something didn't go my way, I would literally cry and go home. And I'd stay in that hole for ages, and I'd say, I'm not strong enough, I'm not good enough. I start to feel really crap about myself, and just go into a bit of a hole. Whereas now, if I'm having a bad day, as in like you just wake up and like a bad mental health day, it happens to everybody. Like, so I just accept that, and I'll go into the gym and I'll think, okay, today might not be as good as I want it to be, but that's okay. And it's about being objective and looking at those external factors, like, okay, so that didn't go as I wanted it today. Why? Like, was my sleep off? Am I just in a bad mood? Where am I in my menstrual cycle? What have I eaten? Actually, like with the incline bench thing, that's what drove me mad, wasn't it?
It was.
And Jenny was like, Chloe, that's your third pressing exercise in that session, whereas the numbers I'm thinking of are if I was fresh. So it's about actually, okay, that's what's going on. And then in terms of not letting it, like if I dwelled on it and kept thinking about it, then I'm going to have 3 more bad sessions. So it's like, okay, that's happened, put it behind you, what can I do next, and just move on. And I'm not always motivated, like, how many times
okay not to be
how many times have I come in and gone, oh, I really can't be arsed today, but knowing what I want to achieve, like I've got to do it. So I just do. Bit of a robot.
You see the goal in it.
Yeah.
I think the takeaway from that is not just in your goal of gyms or anything. It's just in general, like having a direction moving forward.
Yeah.
And just reevaluating is quite a nice,
I think
nice way to approach it.
With that said, though, in terms of more like general population, like if you lift for fun, like I lift as an athlete, like it's so different to lifting for fun. Like if I'm having an off day, I need to get through that session. But if you're doing it for fun and you're getting yourself beat up for it, go and do something you enjoy. Like go and have a swim, go and see your friends and chill. Like it's not the be all and end all, and I think people need to let themselves see that and not always compare themselves to elite athletes.
That's fair. A very, very serious question here. Would you rather fight 1 human-sized duck or 100 duck-sized humans?
I'm a pacifist, so I'd rather not fight anyone, thanks. If someone went to fight me, I'd run away.
And that is called sitting on the fence, guys. I'll let you come up with your own decision than that. What about you, Mark? What would you do? Even as a pacifist?
Just 1 human-sized duck, I think.
You take on the big duck?
I think human-sized ducks would look funny though.
Yeah.
No, duck-sized humans would look
Duck-sized
funny.
humans look funny.
Yeah.
Just kick you out,
Yeah, but I mean, if you've got 100 duck-sized humans, I mean, you'll get overrun with numbers.
That's true, yeah. Duck-sized humans is what we're going for, isn't it?
Yeah. Right, we'll also...
No, but didn't he just say one
human-sized duck? Imagine a duck the size of Mark just walking in, wingspan coming at you. 6 foot duck.
Well, geese are pretty rowdy, aren't they? So they're quite big.
I think we'll leave it to you guys. Throw in a comment or something. Let us know what you think.
Yeah, put it in the comments.
Thanks for that, Joe. So now, if you listen to this on Spotify, you can't see the big shiny, glittery thing that's in front of us. So this giant medal that's the size of like my face. But if you watch on YouTube and you can see the video, very pretty, ready to go on the wall. And then obviously go back and get the first place next time.
Well, I can't. Now I've got my pro card.
Oh, of course, pro card.
So I can't compete as an amateur in the lightweights. I can compete as an amateur as a middleweight. So maybe that's coming at some point. Who knows? So
guys, keep posted. If you don't already follow Chloe, jump on Instagram, search Chloe Brennan. I'm sure you'll see a billion posts from a billion different people. It's quite interesting from us. We've seen from the CrossFit world, CrossFit athletes like posting it.
I had a conversation with Sam Briggs in my DMs. What? It's crazy.
What did she say? What did she say?
Find it.
Oh, exclusive here, exclusive.
It wasn't like a full conversation, but it was cool. I was like, this is mint. No, I'm not even a CrossFitter. Where is she? It's biceps like Briggs, isn't it?
Yeah. But say, as soon as Rogue published their Dinnie Stone stuff, then CrossFit started functioning as well. Oh, that's amazing.
Cool, isn't it?
So for those people who can't see or hear, Sam's just saying how brilliant it was, and how the guy who owns Rogue said, "Oh, did you see that girl who lifted the stones? Keep going." Oh, and you felt my mind is blown. Yeah, amazing. And also, I think it's probably nice for her to see like another British athlete going over there and actually showing everyone how it's done, which is awesome.
Us British strength athletes were not to be underestimated.
100%. 100%. Also, well, thanks so much for like coming and sitting with us and having a Subway, which you didn't see before. Because it down a couple of Subways before we go. But yeah, check Chloe out online. She's got a YouTube channel, which is like starting to like really put out content on that. Instagram, and give everything a share and a comment, should be awesome. So that's it for us with Chloe. Have we got anything else we need to remind anyone about, or are we?
No, I think we've got all caught up on this one. But we'll look forward to doing episode 3.
Episode 3
next month.
And likewise, guys, if you want us to deal with anything, if we don't have any guests on, you just want us to talk about a subject, just send us a message, send us a comment. And remember, we've got Triple Trouble coming up 30th of April. Sign up, please. Come along and have some donuts and pizza and work out. It'll be great.
Be a good day.
Also, guys, have a good one, and we'll see you next month for episode 3.